I'll pay double, triple, whatever it takes to get rid of that pathetic little wedding and secure this venue for my daughter's engagement gala. Aunt Vivian's voice sliced through the morning calm of the Moonstone estate, her manicured finger jabbing at the contract on the desk. The venue manager, Mrs. Delcroix, gripped her phone with trembling hands and whispered, "I need to call the owner immediately, Mrs. Wellington." I pushed through the frosted glass doors at that exact moment, my wedding dress sketches tucked under my arm, and called out cheerfully, "Hi, Mom. What's the problem?" Not knowing I was about to detonate a family bomb that had been ticking for 20 years, the Persian rug might as well have been yanked from under Aunt Vivian's designer heels. Her face cycled through expressions like a slot machine. Shock, disbelief, and finally landing on pure, undiluted horror. Behind her, my cousin Isabella clutched her Birkin bag so tightly her knuckles went white, her recently enhanced lips forming a perfect O of surprise. "Savannah." Aunt Vivian's voice cracked like fine china hitting marble. "What? How? Why are you here?" "Well," I said, settling into the moment with probably more satisfaction than was healthy, "I imagine I'm here for the same reason you are. To discuss wedding plans. Specifically, the Robertson-Carter wedding you're so eager to cancel. Though I go by Savannah Carter now. You'd know that if you bothered to RSVP to my wedding instead of pretending I died 3 years ago. My mother, Margaret Delcroix, owner of the Moonstone estate, and the woman who'd built this venue from her divorce settlement into the most exclusive wedding destination in the Hamptons, looked between us with the expression of someone who just solved a particularly vindictive crossword puzzle. "The Robertson wedding," Mom said slowly, emphasizing each word. "Is your daughter's wedding?" "That's impossible," Isabella interjected, finding her voice. "She's marrying some nobody, a firefighter or something equally blue-collar. There's no way she could afford." "A paramedic," I corrected coolly. "And his name is Marcus. He's also completing his MD at Columbia. Not that you asked. As for affording it, funny thing about cutting toxic family out of your life, you save a fortune on therapy and can put that money toward things that actually matter." Aunt Vivian straightened her spine, defaulting to her favorite weapon, condescension. "Margaret, surely you can see this is a misunderstanding. The Wellington name carries weight in this community. Isabella's engagement to Prescott Hadley IV is the social merger of the decade. We're talking about senators, ambassadors, the entire Hadley pharmaceutical fortune. The same Prescott Hadley who got expelled from Princeton for paying someone to take his exams?" I interrupted. "Or are we talking about a different Prescott Hadley? The one who crashed his Ferrari into a Starbucks last month while high on his family's own products?" Isabella's face flushed beneath her spray tan. "Those incidents were taken out of context by the police reports. I pulled out my phone because I have copies," I said. "Amazing what becomes public record when Daddy's lawyers can't make it disappear fast enough. How dare you? How dare I?" "What, Isabella? Tell the truth? Point out that you're about to marry a man who makes your father's cocaine habit look recreational." I turned to Aunt Vivian. "Oh, did she not tell you about Prescott's little pharmaceutical sampling problem? Or were you too busy calculating the social capital to care?" My mother cleared her throat. "Perhaps we should discuss this in my private office." "No," I said firmly. "They wanted to have this conversation in the open. Let's have it." I moved closer to the desk where my wedding folder lay innocent and unassuming. "You want to know the really pathetic part of this whole situation? If you just called me, just once in 3 years, you'd have known about my wedding. You could have picked literally any other date. As if we'd waste time on someone who threw away their legacy for love," Aunt Vivian sneered. "Legacy?" I laughed, the sound bouncing off the crystal chandeliers. "You mean the legacy of marrying for money and dying miserable? The legacy of prescription pills at breakfast and affairs by lunch? That legacy? At least we maintain the family reputation." "You maintain nothing," I snapped. "You're living in a house bought with grandfather's money, wearing jewelry Uncle William buys to apologize for his mistresses, and planning a wedding for your daughter to a man who'll be dead by 40 if his liver doesn't give out first." "Mom," Isabella said quietly, and something in her voice made us all turn. "She's not wrong about Prescott." "Isabella, don't be ridiculous. He was high at our engagement party," Isabella continued, her voice gaining strength. "Had to leave halfway through to meet his dealer. Told everyone he had a medical emergency. I suppose technically he did. All men have their vices, Aunt Vivian said weakly. All men. I stared at her. Is that what you told yourself about Uncle William? Is that what you tell Isabella to keep her in line? Your uncle provides a spectacular life. My uncle provides spectacular bruises, I shot back. Or did you think I didn't notice the pattern? Always somewhere clothing would cover. Always with an excuse ready. The silence that followed was deafening. You don't know what you're talking about, Aunt Vivian said, but her voice had lost its edge. Don't I? I pulled out a chair and sat down, suddenly exhausted. Summer of 2019, you showed up to the charity gala with a broken wrist. Said you fell off a horse but you hadn't been riding in years. Christmas 2020, concussion, skiing accident. Except there was no snow that December. 4th of July last year. Stop, she whispered. I tried to help, I said quietly. Called you dozens of times, left messages, sent resources. You blocked my number and told the family I was spreading malicious rumors because I was jealous of your perfect life. Isabella sank into a chair beside me. You tried to help? Of course I did. She's still my aunt despite everything. I looked at Aunt Vivian, who seemed to have aged 10 years in 10 minutes. Just like you're still my cousin, despite the fact that you've spent our entire lives competing for a prize that doesn't exist. I don't compete. Isabella, you literally hired someone to seduce my high school boyfriend just to prove you could. You applied to every college I did just to see who could get into more. You even dated Marcus before I did. What? Isabella's head snapped up. Oh, you didn't know? Yeah, he was one of your conquests freshman year at Brown, the pre-med you dumped because he was, and I quote, too focused on saving lives instead of making money. Isabella's face was a study in shock. Marcus Carter? Your Marcus was my Marcus from... Oh my God. She covered her face with her hands. He's the one who got away. The one who actually cared about me instead of my trust fund. Funny how that works, I said dryly. When you treat people as disposable, they tend to dispose of themselves. But he chose you, Isabella said, looking at me with something I'd never seen before. Genuine curiosity without malice. Why? Because I chose him back, I said simply. Because when he talked about his dreams of combining emergency medicine with community outreach, I didn't calculate the salary potential. When he showed up to our second date covered in blood from saving a kid's life, I didn't worry about the stains on my designer dress. I worried about him. That's it. That's it. My mother, who'd been suspiciously quiet, finally spoke.